haven't gotten a lot of love and gotten it from Kevin, except even with this good look, not able to finish what would have been the trifecta, 3 straight on the road. And instead, the mad scramble ends up with Embiid and the Sixers sneaking out. Here's another baseball tip. Let's play 2. Do it again. Nick Maletti, congrats, founder and original owner of the Cavaliers, honored with a 2016 championship ring. Nice piece of jewelry. Joel Embiid, sure this shocks you, doesn't care about that. Easy over Tristan. He had 14, all 14 of his points in the first half. Lead was 13. Al Horford and the addition, and be sure what it means, do a lot of different things for you.
Yes, he can. He can get it to you inside and give it to you outside. You know he's a consummate leader in that locker room as well.
Finds Ben, the cut. Little bit of a ole there from Sexton. And then eventually Tobias Harris in close, 67% from the field, 20 assists first half. They're up 29. It would be 24 at the break. More Harris here, Sam.
Yeah, just look at Ben Simmons make that pass, and Harris just getting deep post-up position on one of them little guards from Cleveland.
Now, this is Tybal for the dunk. If anybody didn't realize why he broke like every record ever for steals, watching this guy is like, it's like watching like Richard Sherman out there like trying to like intercept passes. The defense been impressive. Harris, the offense hasn't been, but was tonight. 27 points, 12 of 14, 114.95, easier than the last time around. As we hear from Long Island native Tobias Harris of a season-high 27.
You talked yesterday about a team needing to impose their will. Did you feel like you guys got to that tonight?
I definitely did. I think, we talked about having so many close games, and then tonight coming out in the beginning, kind of being neck and neck with them, and then obviously imposing our will, getting a big lead, also sustaining the lead. They made a little run in the fourth quarter and was able to combat that. So that's a really good sign for us.
Watching this game, it really felt like the defense was leading to the offense, and especially in that first half. Is that what you guys were trying to get to?
Yeah, I mean, it was obviously something that was working early on for us, and we just stuck with it. That created probably, 80% of our offense into good plays, into, highly good shots around the rim. So we just got to keep at that. Our defense was key tonight through the pick and roll and playing 2-on-2 with what they like to do. So we just got to stay at it.
You guys have been on the road quite a bit to start this season.
Yeah.
Next games, next 18, we've got 13 of them at home. Are you ready to get back at home?
Yeah, we're ready to get back to our court. We've been traveling, been on the road as part of the season, but we're ready to get back home in front of our fans and protect our home court.
Big night for Tobias Harris, who, good segue from Bogdanovich, another player, got to fit anywhere, do a bunch of things. The offense can do that, but the defense. And we wanted to see, Brian, how that was going to translate. Work in progress, new players, but what did we see tonight that you liked in that effort to get there?
Well, one of the things that you hear coaches, players, basketball aficionados all together talk about is being on a string. And so we'll take a look at this first one here. You see all the players, everybody's kind of boxes and elbows within, reach of their men on the defensive side. You want to be inside and be protecting the basket. So everything, how it works here, you see the post-up happening. Tobias Harris is fronting, so I guarantee you he's yelling front. In order for this to work, you have to have ball pressure. So you see Ben Simmons all over the ball handler there. Down below, you have Al Horford, who's got Tobias Harris's back in case they throw a lob pass, and James Ennis, who cracked down on the big. All right, on this next play here, Al Horford does his work early, gets Kevin Love off the box. So it goes from a post-up to kind of a short wing ISO. All right, everybody else is on the weak side. They all have eyes on him. He stays between Kevin Love and the basket. He goes up and contests and challenges without fouling. Now they're able to get out on the break. On this last one here, the size of Ben Simmons and the size of this team, there you always see a body when you start to try to penetrate and attack. You see Joel Embiid, that's what Colin Sexton sees. Now, even though Ben Simmons gets clipped on the screen right here, every coach wants the two people in the pick and roll to handle the pick and roll. When Colin Sexton comes off, he sees Joel Embiid, who doesn't let the roller roll behind him. The other two defenders are still on their men on the weak side, but Ben Simmons continues to channel him into the defense and gets a rear view challenge from behind. And that's something that this team is going to be good at because they have size at all those positions. Thybulle, you talked about, Ben Simmons, Korkmaz, Jason Richardson, all these guys 6'6" and above who can change, who can switch defensively, show the versatility, and then you got Horford and Embiid inside. So they can play a bunch of different ways. They can trap you off pick and rolls. They can chase you and funnel you into the bigs. They can switch. So this is where we've been waiting for this team to start to come together on the defensive end, and tonight they were able to put a good defensive game.
And especially defensively for my coaches, effort has kind of become a skill set,
yeah,
right, in today's NBA. And, Sam, you're watching those plays, and that's what you saw, right? Horford and from Simmons, because when you got the talent, you should be able to do it, but how do you get them to buy in of doing it for 4 quarters?
Well, the thing, they keep talking about want to compete and win a championship. We keep picking them as one of the top teams. As a matter of fact, I picked them to come out of the East, but it's got to be a mindset. It's got to be something that they talk about on a night-to-night, day-to-day basis, and it's got to be who they are. Look, they don't have the offense that some of these other teams that they're going to have to compete with. They don't have the scoring of a Houston, the scoring of even the Clippers, the Lakers. They can't score like those other teams do. But the thing that they can do, they can defend, they can shut down the paint, and they can get out in transition and score a lot of different ways. The thing I would like to see them do better, other than their defense and have that mindset of playing better D, is get out and run more, attack the basket, get to the free throw line more. They are relying way too much on jump shots, and they're not a jump shooting basketball team. When Jason Richardson is probably your best shooter, not scorer, but your best shooter. And nothing against him, but you're in trouble because Joel Embiid, he can make a three, but that's not what he does. We know Simmons, that's not what he does. And then you see these other players, they can make shots, but that's not who they are. They need to start attacking the basket, picking up their defensive rebound, and crashing the offensive glass because there's a lot of other things they can do to impact the game.
By the way, I did say before this version of the Warriors we talked about then, Sam went to another one with the other Jay Rich with Jason Richardson.
Oh.
We just got Barron texting me. He's like, well, no. It's,
well, I'm getting old up
here.
Hey,
look, when you talk about shooters, though, it's interesting because I remember 2 years ago, they basically, for nothing, Bellinelli and Ilyasova come in, and it's like the last 2 years, like, wow, they could have used that. When you look at this team offensively, we were discussing Ben and what he does. You see all the skill set. How much is this year, you don't want to jump to the end, Brian, but if you're on this coaching staff, about really learning what with this group is the best way to handle Ben down the stretch of games in the playoffs?
Well, I think that we'll see him in the dunker spot a lot because, let's face it, he's not a threat to score from the outside, particularly from the three-point line. And so finding a place to put him where the other team is not going to just help off him and clog up the lane for everybody else and be able to come and double off of him, but where he can also, if they do leave him, that he can just catch and finish. So the dunker spot may be the best for him. But it's going to be tough. That's something that Brett Brown and his coaching staff is going to have to figure out because they paid this guy a lot of money, and he has to be a threat on the offense, carry the threat of a shot and to be able to score for this team to be successful and not just let teams, sag and help off of him.
One of the things you see because of the remnants of what you talk about with the lack of shooting, Embiid take too many threes sometimes. You saw in the first half of the game earlier this week, then dominate down low. Tobias Harris, 0 for 9, worst shooting night from 3 of his career in the last game they lost. More efficient tonight. He could do that, we know that, but how much do you want to see him being aggressive like he was tonight?
He's got
because
to.
he understands where to go, Sam.
He is that guy. Look, when you look at them, when they need a basket, it's 2 guys they can go to, Embiid and him. And the thing about it is, Tobias Harris, look, it's tough for him sometimes because when Joel Embiid is in the post, there's not a lot of space because Joel Embiid needs space to operate. And then when you look at Ben Simmons, because of his inability to shoot the ball, teams sag off him. So it's really tough for Harris. And that's my point. That's why they need to play more in transition because if they have to play against set defenses each and every night, teams are going to trap Joel Embiid on the post to get the ball out of his hand. And then they're going to close out short on a lot of their shooters because they know those guys are not great three-point shooters. So they need to start scoring in transition. All of those guys, Simmons, Embiid, Tobias Harris especially, in transition, they can rim run, post up, and play that type of basketball. It don't have to be all post-ups through sets.
And one of the other things, getting back to Simmons, you remember early days of Magic Johnson being in the post. Mm-hmm. I think that, he can play in the post going to score, if he has a size advantage, especially if he's playing the point guard and he has these smaller guards on him, they can take advantage of that. And then when teams do try to come and double team him, if he's able to get good post position, then he'll be able to feed those other guys and open some things up by drawing to him and kicking it out.
And Case, this is the thing. I know he's not a great three-point free throw shooter, but what he needs to understand, especially early in the game, the first 2 quarters, if he get those starters in foul trouble or he gets his team in the bonus, whether he's making free throws in the first or second quarter is irrelevant. He's putting the other team players, starters, in foul trouble, which makes them less aggressive. And to be short point, who's a better pass out the post than a 6'10" point guard? Right?
Yeah, all I need to say is, and of course, Queens is and St. John's zone. If Mark Jackson at his size could back dudes in the post with hand checking, I'm pretty sure Ben Simmons at his can find a way to back in IT if you're listening. Sorry about that. Power rankings. Who fits up at the top? You should get in the know. NBA.com and check out John Schuman's Power rankings. The Celtics at the top. Will they still be?